this one running?
Yeah, when is this running? Should I be changing my ensemble?
When is this running?
Close. This would be running second week of December?
Oui, en décembre.
December. And one of the other one is running next week.
Are you sitting
and
here?
No. Actual flags? Did you get changed?
If that's what you think I should do.
I think we should actually go tack.
Unless Tanya has something ready for me.
So I will check that.
Okay, so we got the mayor.
Tan, is she here?
So maybe packing is. I think they may have passed that tidbit of information going straight to the car. So I'm gonna make sure that. I love it. In fact.
What about the impact road in?
That's good.
Can you believe it?
Oh. Okay, the white. Yeah, that's good. Now, can I see the close size, the tight size? Keep going, more. Please. Right there. C'est ça. Okay. Mariah, that's the tightest size right there.
Okay.
At the hips. Alright, so, I think we're ready, huh?
Yep.
Jump out.
Let's do it, we're set.
We're gonna jump out because
Yeah.
we're going straight from here.
So who's taking me? Is anyone here?
We're outside.
Right.
Right.
So I told them, the whole bit.
Yeah.
Alright, we're ready. Let's go. C'est d'accord. Vas-y.
Okay, thank you. Okay, you used to write and compose a big part of your music. Is it a way for you to control your career?
I've been writing songs since I was like 13 years old. That's when I first started writing. I've been writing poetry since I was in 3rd grade. And I used to I had kind of a difficult childhood, and when I was sad, I used to write poems in this book. And I have an older brother and sister. My sister used to write poems, and so I saw her doing it, and I started doing it. And it was my creative release, my creative outlet. And then singing and music was always my release as well, and always what made me feel special, because I didn't really feel special as a little girl. I felt different. I didn't feel pretty. I felt, because I was half black, half white, that I was different. And so music has always been a form of release. And so when I was in high school, I started working on this demo tape, which had a lot of the songs that ended up being on my first album, and ended up being actually like #1 songs. So it was a blessing that I had been writing for so long, and I had developed my own style of writing. And I was able, because I had 2 record companies, by a blessing that this happened, that they both wanted me, I was able to say, I want to make sure I write my own songs. Because I feel like a lot of people are great interpreters of songs, and I like to record, like, a remake. On this album I did Phil Collins' Against All Odds. The last album I did the artist formerly known as Prince, The Beautiful Ones, with Drew Hill. I've done a lot of covers. I'll Be There, I sang with Trey Lorenz a while ago. But writing my own songs is very important, because there are things I need to say sometimes, and I can only express them through my music. And I think that's why my fans have such a strong connection to me.
Mm-hmm. But do you think that when you create your music, you have some commercial here? Do you care about what your audience expected?
I care. I mean, definitely. I mean, the way I am as a writer is like, if I hadn't been a singer, I could probably have been just a songwriter for other people, because I can pretty much say, like, okay, this group needs this type of record. I can write a ballad that's a pop ballad, or I can do more of a hip-hop song, As a writer, that's why when I do an album like Rainbow, which has so many different collaborations, but also has ballads and things that are just very, very me, I make it work, because I sequence the album, I master the album, I'm there mixing the album, I'm there writing the songs, singing the songs by myself, and weaving the material together. But yeah, I know, like, my audience usually likes a nice summer record for me, at a certain time. I know that there are certain types of things that people who are my true fans like, but there are also songs that are not commercial that people who are not my fans never hear, that are some of my best work, like the song on this album called Petals, that most everybody who writes to me, talks about that song. It's really emotional. There's a song on the Butterfly album called Close My Eyes, which is kind of the story of, takes you through kind of the story of my life. And there's a song on the Daydream album called Looking In, which was at a very down period I was going through, And it's kind of reminiscent of the poetry I would write when I was a little girl, just having to get stuff off my chest. So,
how could you explain your success today?
I would say that now, at this point in my life, I'm able to control what I do. I'm able to be in command of my own career and work with who I want to work with, lean more in the direction that I want to be in, while still maintaining what I had in the beginning that made people gravitate towards me, So I'd say that the difference is I don't have to be so worried about what people in control think anymore. And that was a difficult thing to arrive, a difficult place to arrive at.
Are you a workaholic?
I don't want to be a workaholic. I want to have fun, but I just end up working because I've basically done an album a year since right out of high school. So, it's like I haven't taken a year off ever. So my next project is a movie called All That Glitters, and it's set in 1981. It's written by Kate Lanier, who wrote Set It Off and What's Love Got to Do with It. And it's about my character's romance with a DJ in the club scene at that time, not the disco era, but like the beginning of hip hop and the dance music around that time. And I'm writing 6 songs for the soundtrack and singing those songs as well. Maybe doing some remakes, having some other artists involved. But it's going to be like an 80s, a true to the 80s, early 80s record. But then I'm sure I'll also incorporate something of now, because basically now everybody's looping songs from the 80s anyway. But I collaborated on that story, the screenplay as well. Really, the story of the screenplay with my acting coach, Sheila Gray. And I wasn't even going to make an album, but I had one song. I already had Heartbreaker that I wrote for the movie. That's why it's kind of like the original is like bouncy 80s, kind of cutesy, because it was for that movie.
Yeah. You had changed a lot since the beginning of your career. What was the break? The divorce with Tommy Mottola, or you start a new career since this?
What basically happened was I've always had this need to express myself, to be myself, but it's also been kind of balanced with this fear of what's going to happen if I don't listen to people in authority. In school I didn't care about authority very much because I did whatever I wanted, but it was like, with my career, it was like I was this young girl surrounded by all these powerful older men, and they pretty much ran my life and dictated what I did, even though I was writing songs. It was more, I was surrounded by very powerful people. And as I grew up within that, I grew frustrated that I couldn't wear what I want. I couldn't really release the singles that I necessarily wanted. And I couldn't be free. I couldn't even really hang out with my friends, my own age, going out to clubs, doing whatever. So I think maybe part of the reason I've stayed grounded is because I didn't experience fame so young. It happened, but I didn't know it was going on, really. I think what it was I got to a breaking point where I had to either become myself or I would have lost myself completely. So, that's
more a sexy image too, because on the video clip you are such a provocative image. It corresponds to your true personality, or?
I think that everything I do image-wise is like, of course, we all like to dress up. Some of us do, some of us don't. Dress up and look sexy and wear little fancy little shoes and dresses and whatever. But, it's about me being free and being able to wear what I want and do videos but that are fun, like the original Heartbreaker video, me playing 2 characters, playing 2 roles, having fun, using, my comedic, side, which not a lot of people know about, it's not about like, whoa, I'm this big, you know, sexual woman. I'm actually very inexperienced. I've had very few relationships, and I'm just at this point being able to kind of play and hang out and have fun. And when I'm making videos, it's like, if I can't have fun, why do it?
Mm-hmm. Okay. Today, do you have the life that you have dreamed to have, to live?
I have the life that I dreamt I would have. You know, I wished I would have had when I was a little girl in a lot of ways. But in some ways, it's just really draining and really hard and tiring. But it's also very rewarding because I meet people all over the world who tell me that I've had a major impact on their life with music and songs that I wrote out of my need to get out of a negative situation, whether that's something in childhood or now. So.
Okay, just last question. I feel like your song is close to gospel and black music sometimes. Is it because the way you compose and write your music is marked by your half-caste origin, you think?
I'm sorry, is it
by your métis? Your
being mixed?
No, oh yeah, your mix.
My heritage? Well, yeah, I mean, I grew up in New York City. You know, I mean, New York all over, Long Island, Queens, Manhattan, everywhere. But basically, you know, I've been very influenced by urban music, hip-hop music my whole life. As a little kid, I was really influenced by Stevie Wonder, Al Green, Shaka Khan, you know, so. And then my mother is an opera singer, and she listened to everything from classical to jazz. I used to sing with jazz musicians when I was a little kid in clubs as a, you know, 5th grade kid. So I have a lot of different influences.
And you are a fan of rap singers.
Mm-hmm. I'm a big fan of hip-hop music, definitely. And I have a lot of friends who are very respected, big rap artists, and who I admire. We have a mutual respect, you know, because people who really are good at what they do and care about what they do will never sell out and work or do something that they don't like or they don't feel or they don't think is appropriate for them.
Okay. Just one short last question, 2 minutes, just to, why do you do always interview or often lay down on just on a bed or?
Well, today we're on a sofa, so we don't have the bed thing going on, but I do that because I never get a chance to lie down and rest. So I figure I won't be able to rest if I don't do it while I'm talking. I might as well combine 2 things.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Nice to meet you.
Thank you. Nice to meet you.